For this video, I'm gonna show you one of the best spots to set snares. This spot in particular, I've probably had more success than I've ever had anywhere else. It's a very simple technique. Everywhere you go has spots like this, and there's nothing hard about setting this up. This spot is along a fence, which everybody loves the snare fences, including myself, but it has one little travel corridor under. As you can see here, it's not very big, but that is perfect for a coyote. They love running these field edges and following these fences, and anywhere they can dip in and slip under a fence like this, or even chasing rabbits, mice, whatever they're after. It's a perfect setup, and I'm gonna show you the easiest way I set these up. One of the first things you want to do when you're setting these snares up is get your piece of wire and get the end of this snare tied off, because once you start setting this, you'll find out that it'll have twists in it. Even though this moves, the way the cable lays, sometimes they can mess things up. So you'll think you get it set just right, and then you go to tie it up and it's all messed up. So I don't use very big wire. So you can see there's old here when I'm setting these coyotes. I like to double this wire up, and this fence, it's old, but it's not rusted, so it's gonna hold. I just like to double that up, give it some good twists around, make sure that's not gonna come off. Then we can start making our actual snare set. And right here, there's an old wire, and that is from years of snaring. Oh, I don't know, probably 6 or 7 years ago. I slowed down doing this, but it's time to do it again. So I'm just going to use that because I know how well this spot has worked for me. The first thing you do is just get this snare set up on the ground, and you want to make sure that your release side is away from this little hanging hook, so when they go through it, this part right here doesn't catch onto that and keep it from actually going around the dog. But it's so simple to set these up. You can simply lay that right there like that, and a dog will go through it. But something I like to do is I try to tighten it up a little bit to where it's just barely on the ground. And we live out here in the open where it's pretty windy. So what I'll do is I'll take a little stick like this and I'll break it. And I like to put that in the ground right in front of that snare. And then when it sits, I try to break that off so it doesn't obstruct much. I don't know how much you can see there, but there's barely anything there. So if the wind starts really blowing from the west, it's locked right there. It's not going to go anywhere. And once you get that set, you can open your loop up just a little bit more, slide your wire right next to that, and then that is set. Any dog that's chasing rabbits, mice, or whatever they're after, they're just going to shoot right through that. And if you were wanting to trap for raccoons, this is the same thing. Coon season, coyote season, they're together here in Indiana. Actually, tomorrow is the last day we can trap raccoon. So if it was later on, say 2 weeks from now, and a coon got in here, we would just have a little bit of fun and try to get him out of there. I hope my nephew gets to experience that a little bit, but I'm gonna leave this one set just like this. You may think that's not very big, but those dogs love these little spots because they just slip right under there, and they'll do it quick. That's why snaring these spots is so successful, because a coyote usually doesn't look at this spot and just crawl through it slow, snooping around. He's usually chasing something here on the hunt, so they go right through that and boom, they're locked up. They hit this fence on the end of the snare and they're not going anywhere.